Richelle, you come in the kitchen yet?
Yes, I'm in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. Okay, great. Welcome, welcome. Been waiting for you. So you're all ready and set up. Welcome, everyone, to the first in our series of Diaspora Kitchens. We're going to be introducing you to food from around the world created by our amazing diaspora residents. Well, people from what we call the global majority will be doing all of the preparation and cooking. So hi, Richelle. What you going to be having for us today?
Right, good evening all. I'm cooking from a home, which I say is a home of love. So sweet food, I'm cooking rice and peas with jerk chicken. The sides are callaloo with plantain, and also a side salad with ginger honey dressing.
Okay, that sounds fabulous. Richelle, that sounds Caribbean, huh? Is that a Jamaican dish?
I'm the home of Jamaica.
Okay, and where are you living now?
I'm living in Leeds.
Okay. So who taught you to cook?
Well, my mother taught me some, my granddad's wife, and I've always sought out senior adults who have got like an older head and I've got like more cultural flavour. So I've often visited elderly just to say, how do you cook it and show me how you spice it. So I've learned by community, I'd say, community of adults.
Right, community, yeah. And your flavours are distinctly what you'd say, Caribbean, Jamaican?
Definitely Jamaican, yes.
Right. Well, as I said, everybody, I'm Arlene. I'm with Obele, and this is Obele's Diaspora Kitchen Sessions, and we bring you food from around the world. Today, Richelle will be bringing us our Jamaican flavor, Caribbean flavor, and she'll be introducing us to all of the ingredients and the preparation methods. So I'm going to hand over to you, Richelle. I'm going to interrupt every now and then and be giving you some questions. Hopefully we'll be able to answer and share in the conversation about the food. Let's go.
Thank you.
So, okay, so are you going to, you have an assistant working with you today, right?
I do. I have an assistant with me. My son is working with me, so he's going to be mixing up the jerk sauce. So what we've done is we've prepared jerk chicken, which is cooking as we go because it wouldn't cook within the hour. So I'm going to show you how we prepare it. But what I'm going to do live is the rice and peas. So we'll start off with an empty pot. And everything is prepared and cut up for you. So I have a bowl of rice. It's the bowl of rice, so I'm going to put that in the water. And then I've also got everything already cut up. So I've got some thyme, ginger and onions, some coconut cream. But coconut cream, because I don't really like coconut milk. So it comes in a box like this. And I'm just using half of it. Great. And also I have the tin peas. So it's kidney beans I'm going to use. I don't know if that's right.
Yes.
I'm going to be using kidney beans. So I'll pour this in the water. Well, I'll pour this in, turn it up. So I haven't actually turned on yet.
Yes.
I'm going to throw everything in the pot.
Yes.
Can you see the pot?
We can see the pot very, very well.
Okay,
You're a
good.
real first world cook as opposed to putting the beans in the pressure cooker and letting the pressure rise.
I have no idea how to use a pressure cooker. It's been too many years. So I'm using boiling water because I want everything to cook quickly. So I'm using boiling water. And I don't cook with any form of measurements because I'm an old head, I'd say, an old head at cooking. I've been cooking for many years. So I just sort of go by how it feels. It feels good, so I'll just go with it. So in the water, I've got coconut cream, thyme, garlic, and I'm just going to put in some black pepper. I'm also going to put in Scotch bonnet and some salt. And I'll leave that to boil. And while that's boiling, we're actually going to show you how to prepare the jerk chicken. And then we'll come back to the rice and peas. And then I'll also then finalize with the callaloo and the spinach. So we're doing a jump around the kitchen.
And all your ingredients and the methods will be on the Ubele website afterwards.
It's on the website, so right. Yes, the recipes being typed up, it's all online. So give me a moment. Bit of black pepper. So even though I'm using Scotch bonnet, I like the flavour that comes with black pepper, so I've got a bit of black pepper. My Scotch bonnet, I'm just going to put it in whole and just not cut it up. You'll see what I'm going to do. Just take the Scotch bonnet, stab it so the flavour seeps through.
Yes. To remind everybody that when they're handling Scotch bonnet pepper, they have to be very careful. It's a very powerful
It is. So if you touch your eyes, you're in trouble for a good while, and even washing it with water doesn't help you. So as I said, because I've been using it for a while, I'm generally okay with it. So I've never really had any problems. Well, not lately. So I'm just going to get some Scotch bonnet, or my son can pass me some Scotch bonnet. Bottom drawer, please. Just one. So I'm only going to put one.
I cut up some the other day, and I was doing some pepper sauce, and trust me, my hands burnt me afterwards. So you really have to be very careful with it, but it's very flavorful.
What I do is my Scotch bonnet is I freeze them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stab it, because I just want the flavor to come through. So I don't cut it up. I just stab it and drop it in whole, and then I'm going to leave this to boil. And then what we're going to do is, while this is boiling and preparing, we're going to start you off with a jerk sauce.
Okay.
Right. So I'm going to turn this up. So I'm turning this up to boil. So for the jerk sauce, we have a lot of spices over here. My son will bring the camera across, and then you can see what we've got in this corner. So
you make your own jerk sauce.
I do.
That's amazing.
I recreate. So I don't just use the bottle. So this is what I use here. So I use Dunn's River. So I like to know that I'm using Jamaican products.
Yes.
Then I've also discovered this week Easy Spice. So this has actually cut down a lot of work that I'm doing, that also you will do. So it's actually got a range of spices in there, from cinnamon, garlic, chilies, chicken flavoring, different sorts of flavorings. But then I have a different recipe, which is on the Abelli Initiative. So you can actually make it from scratch, put in your allspice and everything. But then because of timing, I will use this one, and we'll do it a lot quicker. Yes. And then I also put in the tomato puree. I have some tomato ketchup, honey. Honey takes out a bit of the sting. Honey takes out a bit of the sting because it can be quite hot. So if you make the jerk sauce and it is too hot for you while you're putting it on the chicken, I'll show you how to taste it in front. What you do is you can just add a bit more honey, a bit of brown sugar, and that takes out some of the pepper. So there's a way to douse it if it is a little bit too hot. And then good old soy sauce, I like just a little bit of soya. So it's a bit traditional, but not 100%. And then also we're going to blend some of the things in with it. So we have already prepared some scallion, some onions, and some thyme. And then we're going to squeeze a lemon. So all of that's going to go in the blender. And that is how I make my jerk sauce, using the base from the bottle. So my son is going to do that part for me. So I'm going to step aside. I'm not sure whether he's doing the talking. He's looking at me some kind of strange way. So I will let him put everything into the blender, and then we'll take it from there.
He's looking at you strangely because he knows that you're not giving away the secret ingredient that makes your thing taste just so. Everybody has their own secret ingredient.
It's all, well, yes. No, everything's in there. I haven't been, everything's in there. So we're going to stop places. So Lamar is taking over for me. Right, thank you. Right, so here is Lamar. So Lamar, if you can just put all the spices and everything in the blender for me, please.
Welcome, Lamar. Men who cook.
He cooks very well. He's an experimental cooker. So very experimental cooker. He cooks a mixture of all sorts. And he's trying to be a bit too posh, so he's now dropping my foods everywhere but in the blender.
So Lamar was born in the UK. He was born in Leeds.
Lamar was actually born in London. He was born at Guy's Hospital. And we moved back to Wolverhampton shortly after, and we lived in Wolverhampton for a number of years. And we've been in Leeds since he was about 3.5 years. So, yeah.
Okay. My son was born at Guy's Hospital as well.
Yeah. So Lamar's been cooking
he's a
with
little
me
bit older than Lamar.
He's been in the kitchen from very young, cooking anything from savoury, sweets. So the honey I'm going to melt. So we'll do that last. So can I have 3 teaspoons of the jerk seasoning? So 3 teaspoons of that one, please.
So Lamar, you learned to cook from your mom?
I learned from everyone. Mom mostly. Nan taught me back in her day, you know. I have an uncle from Jamaica who taught me how to do the chicken.
And you enjoy cooking?
His methods for chicken are my favorite, I must confess, you know.
Right, then we're going to put 1 teaspoon of mint sauce in there as well. So even though mint is not traditional in there, I like the kick that mint gives it. It's quite fresh. So put a little bit of mint.
There's your secret recipe.
Well, yes.
No longer secret anymore.
And then we'll put 2 teaspoons of tomato ketchup. So, yeah. Thank you. And then we're going to put in probably 3 teaspoons of soy sauce. So if you just pour it. No, just, yeah. Yeah.
As I said before, we're going to put all the ingredients and the methodology on the website afterwards.
Okay. Right, then I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of the powder because it is quite strong. I cooked with it yesterday, so I'll just put 1 teaspoon of this, please. Yes, just pour it open.
Sure.
Yeah. So whereas I'd normally add additional additional Scotch bonnet, I'm not going to put any Scotch bonnet in this because this has already got a serious kick to it. So that is sufficient. So we're going to swap places. I'm just going to cut the lime, put the lime in, and then we're going to blend. Right, there we go.
Thanks, Lamar. That was a great input.
You're welcome.
I should get some things out of the way. So I'm actually using a whole lemon. You can use lemon or lime, but I'm using lemon today. I'm just going to squeeze out the juice. That again takes out some of the sharpness.
Right.
Lemon.
And the jerk sauce is for the chicken, right? This is
for the chicken, yes. So I'm going to show you how I prepare my chicken, and then we're actually going to put this away, and then I will show you the one that's already pre-prepared in the oven.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to blend it so it's fusion noise just a little bit. Then I'll show you the consistency. So we don't want it too smooth. We like it left a little bit lumpy. Yeah, and that noise tells me that I've got 1 ingredient missing.
Yeah,
right,
and it's the sauce that really makes that brings
orange juice.
Ah, okay.
So I generally put in a cup of orange juice, but then I know in my head how much I'm putting in. So I'll put in, well, half a cup of orange juice. So you can use fresh orange. You don't have to use orange juice. So if I was to use fresh orange, I'd cut maybe 2 whole oranges. But with using this one, I can then just get away with half a cup.
Yes.
Yeah, that noise is saying there's not sufficient liquid. So there we go. So we'll go again. That sounds more like it. So I'm going to pour this out to show you the consistency that we should have. I have a container I'm going to pour it into, but then the container's black, so I'm going to put it in a different dish so you can actually see a little bit better. So here's the kind of consistency that you want. So lumpy-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still see, so that's how it's going to look. But I'm going to pour all of this in the chicken shortly. So I'm going to put it to the side, and then we're going to put the rice in because the peas is going on quite well. And then we'll do the last section. So with the peas, how do you know when it's ready? For me personally, I like to taste my water just to make sure it tastes like soup. If it doesn't taste like soup, then for me, it's not ready.
Like soup?
For those of you that cook peas from scratch, like from the dry peas, not from the tin one, because I've actually jumped ahead and done the tin one, you realise the pot is a bit pale. So to get the right colour in, I add in browning. So I'm going to put in just a little browning. I don't like too much because it's quite bitter. So just to get the right colour in, maybe it'd be half a teaspoon. And then you can see that changes the water to the colouring that we're accustomed to.
Yes.
Then I'm going to taste that. How I taste that is I just take a little bit of the liquid, and as my grandmother does it, put it in the middle of your hand. Needs a little bit more salt. But I don't cook with a lot of salt. I don't like too much, but I need to taste some of it. If you don't taste it in the water, by the time you put your rice in, your rice is a bit bland. So I put a little bit more in. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the rice here, because this has been boiling. The peas, you can feel them, they're quite soft, so they're good to go. Right, I've washed this water already, so it feels like it's actually stuck in the bottom of the plate. Oops,
Right.
There we go.
With the dried peas, what if you leave them an overnight soak in some garlic? It really comes out to a really good.
If I do overnight peas, which I haven't done for years because it takes so long. If I do overnight peas, I'd actually soak it overnight with water, garlic, onions. Put the thyme, just put all the flavouring in there. Leave it overnight, and then it takes a long, long time. But now you can you actually see the colouring? So the rice is in. But look at it, I know that I don't have sufficient water. So I've already boiled the kettle. So I'm going to put hot water on it. So it totally covers the peas. So I can't see the peas. I don't mind seeing, or probably cover most of it. So yeah, so there's just enough water just to cover it. And for me, that's sufficient. Okay. So if you're cooking and you get to a point, because we do sometimes cook and we misjudge how much water we put in, and we put in too little. My grandmother taught me a trick, because if it's not quite the right consistency, you put a bit of baking foil on top of the water, on top of your food, pour some water on top, you put the lid back on and it steams it. If you put too much water in, and as some say, the rice and peas is like plaka plaka, or it's like wettish, what I do is, if I have either a cheesecloth, you put a cheesecloth in and press it down on the rice and peas, and that draws the water out. Or if you've got like a brand new, I'd say a clean tablecloth, you can use anything, but something clean, put it in there, take the lid off, and allow the water to draw back out. So that there are ways of salvaging your rice and peas if it's too dry or if it's too wet. So now I'm going to turn this down, because I had it turned quite high. So this is turning down to 2. And what we're going to do now is just clean the chicken. I'm just going to show you how I clean the chicken and how we then apply the jerk sauce. And then after that, we're going to go straight into the plantain and the spinach. And by that time, the rice and peas should be finished.
Now you're talking my language, yes.
So the salad is prepared. So what I'm then going to do is make the dressing and show you how we do the dressing. But then I'm creating a bit of a mess here. So I'm just going to put everything to the side. So there's way, way too much going on in my corner. So just put all of this to the side. That's all good to go. Not to work when there's too much going on behind me.
Tidy the corner here.
Right, so my son has kindly offered to tidy the corner for me. So I shall allow him to do that. Are you going to wipe up for me?
You hold this.
Okay. So, then so we're going to have a session in cleaning. So he's going to tidy up for me.
Oh, good
because he's very much into tidying. So he's going to put everything away. So I shall wait for him to do that. And then...
You can't pay for that kind of assistance, Richelle.
No.
Give thanks.
No, it's a clean soul to live with. I don't struggle with tidiness. It's a clean soul to live with. So advertising.
Yeah, great.
All right. So those of you just put on the other side because of timing, watching my time. Thank you very much. Right, so that's everything out of the way. So yeah. So if you can bring me out of the kitchen, out of the cooker fridge, please. Just a plantain and the spinach. So he'll bring everything out. There's a plantain, the spinach. Everything is prepared or almost prepared. So the plantain's cut up. Here's a plantain. Here is a spinach. Everything is prepared. Well, half prepared. So what I'm also going to do is I need some scallion. I'm going to fry some scallion in there, some thyme, and also bring the scallion and the thyme, please. And some more Scotch bonnet, because I like a little bit of heat in my food. So I don't like too much, but I like some heat. So Lamara's passing me everything. So we just sort of readjust the corner. And he's washing my scallion for me. Very well trained. Right, thank you, Bill. That you can just pass me, thank you. And then we'll swap over so I can hold, so I can continue. Thank you very much.
So Richelle, what kind of plantain you're frying today? How was it? Really, really ripe? How did you select that?
Ripe plantain, yeah, I like ripe plantain, so yes, it's ripe. The ripe plantain, I'm coming.
Do you have one there?
I've got ripe plantain, which I just...
We've got one.
Yes, I've actually used half because it's just for the two of us to eat. So yes, I do have some ripe plantains. I can show you plantain. So this is what plantain looks like. So it looks yellow, blackish. So some might think it's off. It's not. Feels a little bit soft. So for me, if it feels just a little bit soft at the edge, you know that is ripe, and when you cut it and you cook it, it's going to be sweet. So I'm only preparing half because it's just the two of us and we're eating late tonight. So what I'm going to do, I'm not actually going to prepare that yet. I'm just getting it in place because what I want to do first is the chicken. So I need to show you how to do the chicken and then do this last. So 1 moment. So I need a bowl to put this in. Well, I'll wash it in the sink after. It's a bowl to wash this in. So make sure I've got everything. So traditionally with jerk chicken, it's cooked with the skin, but we're a healthy sort, and for many, many years, my mother's taken the skin off the chicken. So traditionally, I cook my chicken without. So what I'm going to do for the purposes of your watching today, I'm going to do some with, one without, and maybe 2 pieces with. So to take the skin off, what we basically do is you just put your finger, rub your finger underneath it, and the skin comes off quite easily. Yep. So it comes off like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it across to the sink and we'll work over there.
Together easier this
right. You watch me? Right. So taking off the skin. And not only do I take off the skin, what we also like to do is take off all the extra fat. So peel off all the extra bits as much as possible so that it's low calorie basically. So you want healthy chicken. Then in here you might notice like little, what looks like livery bits. All of that's got to come out. So pull all of that out. So this is how we clean our chicken, but many of you will clean your chicken exactly the same as I do. So get all of that bit off. What I'm going to do with the other 2 pieces, I'm going to leave the skin on because I'm going to show you how they'd normally do the jerk chicken, but I'm still taking these pieces out because for me, it's not really edible.
Show them.
Yeah.
Show them 1 piece.
So I've got 1 more piece to do. So my son is saying to show you what I've taken out of the chicken. So this is what it looks like. So that we don't really eat, we throw that away. And then with the chicken, if you pass me a lemon, what I'm then going to do is, I need to open it. I'm going to wash my chicken with vinegar and also with lemon. So what I do is squeeze the lemon all over it because we like to make sure it's pure. Squeeze the lemon all over the chicken and let it sit on that for a bit. Right, leave it there. Then I'm also going to use some apple cider vinegar, which I have here. I pour that also on the chicken. And traditionally in the Caribbean, they like to wash their chicken or their meats in vinegar and in lime. And just make sure it's clean. So especially inside those parts there where I've just sort of dug everything out, particularly get in there. But then we also still wash with water. So even though I've got the lime, the vinegar, it's not going to be palatable if you just put seasoning on there. So I will add a bit of water to there. Just finish squeezing it through. Throw that water off. And wash the container. Because what I'm going to do is I'm now going to put the jerk seasoning, which you saw us prepare earlier, directly in here, and then we're going to put it for storing. So if I just get the dish behind Lamar. So the jerk seasoning you observed us to prepare earlier, it's the same jerk seasoning. What I'm going to do is pour it all over the chicken, just like that. And this will sit on the chicken overnight. So I will leave it there overnight. So I don't need to stir it in or anything. So that is a jerk chicken prepared. So in the morning, or if I'm cooking tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll take the piece of chicken out and just sort of cook it, but it'll be coated. It won't be dry like this, or it won't be without seasoning. I won't actually leave it in all of this liquid. but then the liquid I can then use to make a gravy, which you'll observe me do later. So what I'm going to do is just cover this, and we'll put this in the fridge shortly. Right, so this can sit up on the window. Just wash my hands and then go back to preparing the callaloo. Thank you. Right, so I've always got a towel nearby. Right, so that is section 2. So is there any questions anybody has at this time?
No questions, Richelle. We're good. Keep going.
No
I know
questions,
you're
okay.
rushing through because of the time, but the chicken was the one that
Okay,
going.
right, so here now, so we're at the point now where we're going to do the callaloo and the plantain. So I'm going to use the back pot here. So I'm just going to turn this on and put a little bit of oil in it. Give it a couple of minutes. So while I'm cutting up the plantain, callaloo, sorry, the scallion, that should get hot. The oil should be hot enough. So just get this ready. I don't like it cut too small, so just like reasonable sized chunks. So I just put my hand over the oil to see how it's going. Now what I'm going to do is, while I'm waiting for that to heat up, I'm just going to grate up some Scotch bonnet over here. So I'm going to get a frozen Scotch bonnet and just grate it. You can see that.
Somebody was saying they didn't realize you could freeze Scotch bonnet pepper.
Yeah, I love my pepper, so I like it frozen because yeah. Sorry?
It kills the seeds though.
Yeah, well, what my son is saying is when I freeze it, it kills the seeds, but then the Scotch bonnet is still hot, trust me. So I'm just gratering that. So I'll probably use about half because we like a lot of pepper. That's that. And then I'm going to put the plantain into the pot and just start that cooking. Right, I've already got some spinach on it, but that's okay. Right, there we go. Can't stick it. Right, so that
You're separating them all out so they can be done both sides, right?
Yeah, so then what I'll do is I'll just turn that in a little bit, and then I'm going to throw the spinach in there as well, and that will all go in with the callaloo. So I'll put that, not the callaloo, put the
scallion
in first, scallion, then the callaloo, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of salt, again, just a little, because I don't like too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Callaloo is a greens, like a little bit like spinach, but it is very different.
It is, yeah, because it's almost like in between a spinach and an onion. So I quite like the flavouring that comes with this. So while this is cooking and it's taking its time, I'm going to start working on the dressing for the salad. So I've got a couple of things going at the same time. So I'm going to so we've got some honey in a little pot here. What I'm actually going to do is melt that down because I like it melted, because I've actually got set honey. So I'm going to put that in a microwave and warm that, then I'm going to bring out the salad and show you how I prepare the salad. So that way we get everything in at the same time.
You're doing very well, Richelle. No problem. You're doing very well. Good on time as well.
Okay.
So you're a little concerned about the time, but.
Okay, excellent. Well, that was one of the reasons why I decided I finish work, prepare everything. So if I've got everything cut, it makes everything move a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's already melted down. So it's like, so this is now runny honey. So I'm going to pull out the salad. So I shall put this over here because this isn't ready yet. Turn this space around so I've got a bit more space for myself. As you can see, I've got a very small kitchen. So I learned to work with very, very small space. Right, so if I just bring out the salad and the ginger. So the salad I've already prepared. So the salad is a mixture of, oh, thank you. So it's lettuce, cucumber, tomatoes, corn, and and jalapenos in the middle. Again, we like cow kick. So what I'm going to do here is I've got the honey, and I've grated some ginger, which I'm just going to sort of pour into this cup as well. And then to give it a little bit of a kick, just a little bit of apple cider vinegar goes into here as well. And again, because the apple cider vinegar is cleansing to the palate, so I'll just put, it's probably equal to a teaspoon.
It's also very nutritious, good for you.
Yeah.
And that with the honey.
That with the honey.
That with the honey makes that salad really very sort of nutritious.
But then my salad also has a bit more kick. My salad also has some Scotch bonnet. So just a little. Just going to grate it just a little bit in there. And if I find a teaspoon, where have I put my spoons? I did move them the other side of the room. Right, here we are. So just grate that in, get some more Scotch bonnet in there. So this is vinegar, just a little vinegar, honey.
Out with sickness,
honey.
we say.
So again, I taste it. Is anything missing? Yes, it's a bit too sweet. I don't like it too sweet. So just a tad of salt. Not too much salt. Just a little salt.
No sickness, no sickness, out with sickness.
Okay.
There.
And then last little thing, everything has like a secret component, my lemon.
Here you go.
So squeeze in the lemon. Right.
This is a Richelle Bailey dressing.
Yes, this is a special. And then again, I taste it. Does it taste good? So it's got sweet, but a bit of kick. And then I just want to pour this all over. So you've got the ginger and everything all mixed in. And then I'll put this back into the
colors. That's so beautiful.
Yes. So that is a salad prepared.
Very nice.
With a ginger honey dressing.
And sweet corn. As I said, everything will be, all recipes will be on the website, ubeli.org. Planting going on though.
Yeah, everything, all the recipe. Oh, actually the dressing wasn't on the recipe, on the site, because that was actually a special that I just sort of threw in today.
That's a Richelle Bailey dressing. And
yeah,
never mind. As I said, you have to keep something back, something that's yours.
Right, so just what I'm going to do now is just throw the scallion in there with the plantain. The Scotch bonnet can go in the pot just a little bit, just to season the oil. Again, a bit more heat. And what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to start clearing the side while this is cooking down, because I want to plate up so you can see how it's all plated up.
Okay.
Check the rice. Right, would you like to check the rice with me? We're going to check the rice, see how the rice is coming on. So see the water is almost dried out.
Yes.
I'm just going to taste a little to see how, is it grainy? Is it okay? Give me a second. That's okay.
Nice.
Still needs a little bit more time, but that's good. It's not too salty. I think the part that you're really waiting to see is the jerk chicken. I'm about to show you the chicken.
Well, you know, I want to see the callaloo. You know, I want to see the callaloo more than the chicken. You know that, right?
Here goes the callaloo. That's all going to go in there as well.
Yes, delicious. You want to say a little bit about the preparation of the callaloo, Richelle?
Okay, yes.
What you did to get it to where it was in the dish.
So with it, so what I've actually done with this is the spinach with the callaloo. I've actually cheated again. I didn't buy fresh because I couldn't find fresh in our market. So I've actually bought the tin one. So what we then do is just like empty the water off, wash it out because it's in brine. And I'm not too sure what sort of preservatives comes in the water. So you wash it through and then you re-season it yourself. If you're buying the fresh callaloo spinach, soak it in the hot salt water because it comes a bit grainy, a bit bitty. So I then soak it, wash it through a couple of times, and then cut it very, very fine. So this one I've actually is in a tin, so it's just been drained out and washed. And what goes with it is the spinach, is the callaloo. I don't know if we had any thyme put in this. I'm going to put a little bit of thyme on there, just a tad of salt. Again, I don't like too much salt, so it's always just a couple of squishes. Right. I don't like too much salt. And that then seals off the callaloo. So that is your vegan dish. So with me and my son, we do what we call carb cycling, or he's introduced me to carb cycling as a way of healthy eating and also losing quite a few pounds. I've lost 5 kg since December. So
great, congratulations.
So we have what we call our protein days. So our protein days will be our meat, fish, nuts, things like that. And on our carbs day, it becomes our vegan day. So we have 2 days a week, maybe 3 days where we eat clean. That's what I call clean. So we do a mix, but on those days we can eat maybe dumplings, or I might make rotis, or I've been introduced to a Trinidadian friend who cooks different dishes and doubles and aloo pies. So I might make something like that, and then do maybe a chickpea curry. So that becomes our vegan day. So we do have vegan days, so it's not all meat and it's not all about the protein stuff. So we balance how we eat. So I'm just going to clear off here because I want to plate up so you can actually see the whole meal set out. So before I do that, I'm just going to put just a tad of salt. That for me is sufficient. I don't like any more than that. And I'm just going to shred some fresh thyme into there as well.
Did you practice your timing? Because you're going to end up with 1 hour precisely. Well done.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, Lamar's eating my time. Where's my time? Okay, he's actually put it here. So again, this, for those of you who are not sure, this is thyme. This is a herb. So what I like to do with it, I don't like to put it in the pot as it is. So I take it apart. And what I do is I just run my fingers down the back of it and pull the thyme petals off. So you're not really having the stick, well, what I call the stick. So I don't really like that part being left in there. So I like to shred it through. And if you don't, with putting it on at the last minute, it leaves the food quite flavoursome. So again, put some more in. And then just turn that. And then I shall cover that just for a second, for a moment, and turn it right down.
And you leave the Scotch bonnet in there. That's fine.
Yeah, that's going to be, I'll leave it in there for a bit, just to steam, and then I'm going to take it out. And it's only because Lamar loves heat. I love heat, but Lamar loves a lot more than I do. So even, doesn't matter how hot I make the food, he always adds hot pepper sauce. So it's never hot enough.
Okay.
But what I haven't done with the callaloo, I haven't tasted it yet. See, do I want it to be richer flavouring? So I shall do that after I've cleared off this side and made some space, so I can plate up and show you all what the whole thing is supposed to look like.
If you're a good cook, you can just look at the food and know what it tastes like. It looks as though you know what it tastes like.
Well, the thing is, I've been cooking since I was 9 years old.
Mm.
Yeah. So I've been cooking since I was 9 years old. I'm the eldest daughter of a family of 4. So my brother is the eldest, and I have 2 sisters that follow me. So being the first girl in a Caribbean home or Jamaican home, you are the cook. Yeah. So I'm the cook, and my sister that follows me is the cleaner. So I love kitchen, and she loves to clean. So it's worked out quite well, because I've actually grown that way. And I could spend all my day quite easily just cooking.
It's the same with me and my sister. She is older than me, and of course, much better cook. So I could clean, but my cooking is not great.
Well, I like to experiment. Apart from cooking Caribbean, I cook a style which I call it Caribbeanese. And Caribbeanese just means it's got the Caribbean slant, on whatever it is. It could be Italian, it has a Caribbean slant. It could be Chinese, I put in my Jamaican slant. Everything, I call my food Caribbean, but then I have my traditional stuff, which I do cook, which is Caribbean food. And I love to cook. So in our house, there's cooking every single day. There's rarely a day where I don't cook fresh food, because for me, I like wholesome food. And from the time I had my son, or even before I had my son, I've always cooked. When I was at uni, I cooked for myself and my sister all week. Had my son every day. I'd get up every day would be 3-course breakfast, 3-course lunch, 3-course dinner. So we've always eaten very, very well. And God's been good to us. We've not been without. So we've always eaten, and life's been good. So regardless of challenges, okay.
And it looks like he has taken that from you, because he loves to cook too. You know, one would have thought, well, my mom cooks, so I don't have to cook, but he has done well.
He cooks very well, and not only does that, he's very much into cooking programs. So he's introduced me to a range of cooking programs. So we could spend an evening, instead of watching movies and Netflix, we can watch cooking from Asia, from different cultures, from different experiments and different sort of quizzes and different things that they do. So we pride ourselves on just watching cooking programs a lot of the evenings. So that's what Lamar enjoys to do, and I've learned to enjoy it too. So at this point, I'm going to take out the Scotch bonnet, because I don't want the food overly hot. I'm going to taste the colour and see, do I need any more flavour in it? It could do with a bit more something, because all I'm tasting at the moment is heat. So what I do, and what I quite like, is Maggi cube. So I've got a pack here. So some people don't really like Maggi because they said it's full of I don't know what MSG. So I don't use too much of it. So maybe half. So it just saves me adding extra salt. So I'll just sort of crush it sort of within the packet, and maybe just put half of it in there, because I haven't really got a lot of plantain, and so for me that's it, just half of it, and that's sufficient. So the next thing is to check the chicken. It's all right, I'll put it here. So I'm going to bring it out and put it on top of the cooker, and we can have a look at it together. All right, so here comes the jerk chicken. So I've showed you how to prepare it. So traditionally, jerk chicken is made in a jerk pan. I don't have a jerk pan. So what we can do is you can leave the chicken in the sauce, which I've showed you, and you can actually bake it in that, but then throw it off, and then sort of leave the pan open. If not, it sort of loses its essence. So what you then do with the liquid you throw off, you can just sort of add a bit of tomato ketchup, a bit of puree, if you like a bit of something just to thicken it up, maybe flour, just to thicken it up, and then you use that to make your sauce. But then adding a bit of honey, just keep it sweet, so you've got the sweet and you've got the chili. But what we've done today is, even though it's raining outside, I put outside our barbecue, and I've actually barbecued it to start off with, because I like the smoky flavour that it really comes with, and the colouring.
Really does, yes.
And then we've finished it off in the oven. So this is the first time I'm seeing it too. So let's just open this parcel and see what's going on in there. And it's hot. So as you can see, some of the chicken has got no skin on it, because Lamar doesn't like skin. So it's still a bit pale. So I'm going to pour the jerk seasoning on it and finish it off. So this is, it'll have flavouring, but it's not got the colour. And jerky is not jerky if it doesn't have colour. So I'm going to use the seasoning from what I actually used with it this morning. So I'd actually prepped this from last night. So I'm just going to pour some sauce on that, leave it open, and by the time we finish, this will be totally finished. So give me a moment.
So you know the best parish for getting jerk. You know where jerk started?
St. Anne?
Portland.
Port Royal?
Antonio. Yes, Portland is where the jerk. That's where you go to buy jerk. But jerk was actually a food that was cooked in the hills, and you take the meat and bury it, cook it over a pimento wood fire.
Okay.
In the ground, and that way you get that heavy, smoky taste. But your jerk sauce probably has that taste.
It does have the same. So now it's beginning to look more like jerk, even though it hasn't finished browning off yet. So I've just poured the jerk sauce, which I've made yesterday, on it, and it marinated in, and then I've sort of prepped it. And I'm just going to leave the pot open now, just to give it the colour in. So it's got the flavour, but now to get the colour.
And you're popping it back in the oven.
So I'm going to pop it back in the oven and turn it up high, and that will just sort of, for me, it'll just seal it totally. So while that is sealing off, I'm going to plate up, and then I'm going to bring it out of the oven it'll be ready within 5 minutes. So everything will be plated before we finish today. So now it's time to plate up and make it look attractive. So this is my favourite part. I love to cook, but for me, I believe you eat with your eyes. So a plate has to look good so that you want to indulge. So my favourite part is putting everything together on the plate and making it look good. So let's finish plating up together. So just wash my hands, are a little bit sticky. I'll join you in a moment.
Yes, yes. So what's the most people you've ever cooked for?
100 and maybe 120.
Really? What was that occasion?
It was my parents' anniversary, their wedding. I think, I'm not too sure how many years, it was their wedding anniversary. And we decided we wanted to recreate their wedding. So we had a picture of their wedding cake, which we gave to a family friend. And they had like a 3-tier cake and 3 cakes around the side. So we had the cake replicated, the colour scheme of the hall. And then for a whole weekend, I snuck around because I kept going into church. My father was a minister. So I was using the church kitchen, the church hall to decorate. So from the Friday night, I was sneaking out. So they thought I had a boyfriend. And they were very, very upset with me. It's like, where's she gone? Why is she in late? Why is she out early? And then Sunday, I didn't go to church. I could see my mother like this. So I keep peeking in to see when they're ready. So we had actually taken another outfit for my mother and put it in the back so she could change. So I cooked for the membership of the church, and then had other people coming across. So I did a 3-course meal. So it started off with prawn salad, prawn cocktail, fruit salad for some. And I had like the rice and peas, or white rice, the baked potato, the dumplings, rice and peas, chicken, baked fish, curry goat, and for pudding we had a mixture of fruits, cake and custard, cake and ice cream, and then the wedding cake. So it took me 3 hours to do it, 3 days, and I did it.
You had a team, right? You had a team. You didn't do it by yourself.
I did it by myself.
Wow.
My sister could keep my parents pacified because I wasn't in the house.
Oh my God.
So
you didn't have Lamar to help you?
No, he wasn't born then. I was without child. I was single, and yes, life was a bit more carefree back then. The only thing was worrying about what are my parents thinking when I'm not at home. That was my only concern. So I cooked for 100. So that was it. So I'm just going to get some plates out. And the one for the chicken, the rice, and right, and let's plate it. Right, so yes, the rice is ready. Smells good. Smells good. So
Richelle, someone's asking about a question about would you normally add garlic and thyme to the water when soaking? And they're asking if you would crush the garlic first or leave it whole.
When I'm soaking, which part?
The rice and peas.
Well, you mean when I don't really soak it. What it is when the peas is cooking.
When the peas are soaking, I'm sorry, when the peas are soaking.
Yeah, when the peas is soaking, maybe I generally just put salt in, a bit of garlic, and maybe a couple of thyme leaf, and that's it. But that's if I'm doing like the fresh peas. But we're doing the tin one, you don't need to do that. So I'd normally just pour in the tin, wash the peas, pour in the tin, add in your coconut cream, your thyme, your garlic, your onions, the scallion. I say the Scotch bonnet, which I don't cut up blend in that. I just sort of put it in there, let it steep in. And then I'll take out the Scotch bonnet before I dish, because I don't want it to break up in the rice.
Right.
But yeah, that's generally how I do mine.
Yeah.
So so I'll do a little treat and just show you how you can play around with rice and make it look attractive rather than just sort of clump it on the plate. So Lamar, can just move to the side a little bit. I'm just going to get a crystal, which I like to play around with and make it look attractive. So we're going to make rice settings in crystal glasses, in a crystal glass. So with the plating, out come the Scotch bonnet that can go on the side. So making the rice look attractive, I put it in a glass.
Really?
Which I know is
Straight from the stove?
Because if you leave it too long, the rice starts to settle, and then it won't actually. It'll be too cool to actually maintain the shape. So I'll put it in the glass. But you don't have to use glass. You can use any sort of content. Yeah, any shape. Just I use these because I like the shape of a castle. Right, we'll move the pot out of the way just a little bit so you can see, and then turn it down on the plate. There you go.
Oh, wow. Never thought of doing that with rice and peas.
So that is how. So if I was to plate up, so that is one. So I shall just do the one. So I'm just going to do one plate, and then I'll put a bit of callaloo next to it, and spinach.
And plantain.
Yes, it's not traditional to put the plantain in with the spinach, but it's something that I like to do. You've got a bit of savoury with a bit of sweet, and it's just something different rather than just having the plantain cut by itself. So it's just something different, yeah. So sometimes I put levels. So sometimes I'll put some red peppers in there, bell peppers, because it looks attractive. So I'm going to cover that. But then for me, the treat of the night is the jerk chicken. So I shall put the jerk chicken on there. So I'm just plating up one plate for you, and then I'll pull out the side salad. Right, next, please. Right, and it has browned off lovely. So now it actually looks the right, well, a dark colouring as opposed to looking as pale as it was before.
Yes.
So there we go. I can put it in the oven and then just get the salad. I'm nearly with you. And if I was presenting for a meal, that's generally how I would like to plate up. So it's not too heavy, it's not too big. I don't like when plates have got too much in them.
Right.
So that would be a meal. Well, that'd be a meal for one. This is for the extras. So there it is.
Beautiful, Richelle. It's yes.
Rice and peas, callaloo with plantain, and salad with a ginger honey dressing. Oh, thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Richelle. So when are we coming round? When are you cooking for the Valley staff?
COVID has got to go, then you can all come.
That's really, really great. And Lamar, where is he? He has to come in front of the camera as well, so we can give everybody a big clap.
Right, so
big selfie.
No, right, turn it around. The camera's facing the wrong way. Facing the other end. Right, so now you can see how short I am. So here we are.
Okay, that's a mom and son cooking session. That's fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And we really, really enjoyed that. That was a wonderful process. And you are brilliant to finish it bang on time.
Thank you.
That's great preparation. Great preparation in advance. And I know a lot of hard work went into it to be able to share with us today.
We've both prepared together. So I had help with the preparation as well. So finished work at 4:30 and we just jumped straight in.
Great. So I'm just making sure there are no other questions inside the question section, no chat. Well, I tell you, Richelle, thank you so much. That was an amazing session. And on behalf of Ubele and Diaspora Kitchens, we would like to thank you. You're getting lots of thanks coming through now from various people. Yes,
thank you.
Yes. And remind everyone, the recipe will be on the Ubele website. www.ubele.org. And thanks a lot. Great.
Thank you so much.
Arlene from Diaspora Kitchens, Tracy who did all of the coordinating. We thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank
Have a
you,
nice
Arlene.
evening.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.